Hi everyone, welcome to the Celebrity Diaries. David Ruffin, a powerful American soul vocalist and musician, accomplished acknowledgement as an individual from the Enticements during their eminent exemplary 5 times. Notwithstanding his evident ability, Ruffin's monetary circumstance was humble, with a total asset of $150,000 at the hour of his passing. His solo profession, however short, was set apart by striking accomplishments. Ruffin delivered an all out of 10 independent collections, including the acclaimed My Entire World, finished in 1969, which took off to the highest point of the board R&B collections graph and made its mark on the Bulletin 200 graph prominently. His presentation collection displayed his rough tenor voice, charming crowds, and setting his status as an independent craftsman of extraordinary commitment. Ruffin's melodic ability reached out past performance attempts. As the lead artist for the Allurements, he loaned his unmistakable voice to hits like Ain't Excessively Pleased to Ask and the ageless, exemplary of My Young Lady, leaving a permanent engraving on the scene of soul music. His commitment to the Allurement achievement was unquestionable, earning him broad approval and getting his heritage as one of the most noteworthy singers ever in acknowledgement of his colossal ability and persevering through influence on the music business. Ruffin was posthumously respected with various awards. In 2008, Drifter magazine positioned him as the 65th most prominent vocalist ever, a demonstration of his perseverance through impact. Moreover, in 2013, the Allurements were offered with the Lifetime Accomplishment Grammy Grant, with Ruffin's youngsters benevolently tolerating the honor for his benefit. Besides, his commitments were praised with his enlistment into regarded foundations, for example, the Cleveland Express College's Mood and Blues Music Corridor of Distinction, and the Mississippi Lyricists' Lobby of Popularity. Ruffin's inheritance stretches out past his melodic accomplishments, as proven by the persevering through accolades committed to him in acknowledgement of his underlying foundations. Segments of Detroit Parkside in Meridian, Mississippi, was renamed David Ruffin Road, serving as an enduring recognition for his effect on both the neighborhood local area and the more extensive music scene, in addition to his star on Mississippi Specialties Diversion. Stroll of notoriety fills in as a powerful sign of his enduring inheritance. David Ruffin's venture from humble starting points in Weeping, Mississippi, to turning into a soulful music symbol is absolutely noteworthy. Conceived Davis. Eli Ruffin. On January 18, 1941, David confronted early difficulty with the deficiency of his mom Ophelia when he was only 10 months old. His dad Eli, a transporter, later remarried Earring, an educator, in 1942, in spite of the similarity to strength. David's childhood was set apart by challenges with his dad's severe and oppressive disposition, creating a shaded area over their home, and growing up close by kin. Quincy Jimmy Lee Rita May, and the memory of his late sister Rossini. David found comfort and articulation in music. A gospel bunch shaped by Eli and Aren gave a source for their melodic gifts. With David and his kin frequently performing close by them, these early encounters established the groundwork for David's future in music, as he sharpened his specialty singing in chapel and taking part in ability shows. At the young age of 14, David set out on an excursion to Memphis, Tennessee under the direction of Minister Eddie Shrubbery, with desires of seeking after a daily existence and service anyway. Destiny had different plans, as David's ability got the consideration of jazz performer Phineas Infant Sr. It was during a execution at the 50,000 Dance Hall and Club in Natural Aquifers, Arkansas, that David, currently known as Little David Bramble, started to become famous in the music scene, joining bunches like the Dixie Songbirds and momentarily performing with the Spirit Stirrers. David's energy for music proceeded to thrive at 16 years old. He made the critical choice to move to Detroit, Michigan, close by Shrubbery and his better half, making way for the following part in his melodic excursion. David Ruffin's way to music fame took a crucial turn when he moved to Detroit in 1957, close by the Shrubberies with whom he had shaped areas of strength, and it was in the lively city of Detroit that Ruffin's ability grabbed the eye of none other than Berry Gordy Jr. Ruffin found himself submerged in a universe of opportunity, living with Gordy's dad, a worker for hire. Ruffin loaned his hands to development work on what might later become Hitsville, USA, the notable base camp of Tama Records, which would ultimately advance into the amazing Moan Records. It was here, in the midst of the murmur of development and the commitment of melodic advancement, that Ruffin Fantasies started to come to fruition while his sibling Jimmy Ruffin got a record managed Thomas's Marvel Records name. David cut out his own way in the music industry under the alias David Shrub he delivered at Solitary, Except Me, You and I in 1958, exhibiting his gifts as both a solitary and drummer. These early accounts, conceived out of the energetic energy of Detroit's music scene, indicated Ruffin's future accomplishment. As a deep crooner, as Ruffin's standing developed, he wound up attracted to the allure of Honor Records, a neighborhood mark where he recorded the profound tracks I'm Infatuated. Furthermore, sooner or later in 1961, these accounts filled in as a demonstration of Ruffin's developing melodic style and his capacity to spellbind crowds with his emotive voice. It was during this time that Ruffin way crossed with fate indeed, as he encountered a blossoming nearby bunch known as the Allurements, empowered by his sibling Jimmy, who was currently on visit with the Enticements as part of the Motortown audit. Ruffin saw an amazing chance to satisfy his melodic desires with the Gathering needing a tenor voice. Ruffin communicated his longing to join their positions to Otis Williams, one more Detroit loca. In January 1964. The direction of David Ruffin's music profession took a fantastic turn when he joined the Enticements, a choice that would everlastingly modify the direction of soul music history. His entrance into the Gathering came at a significant second following the flight of establishing part Elbridge. Al Bryant. Ruffin's debut recording meeting with the Enticements happened on January 9, 1964, denoting the start of another part for both him and the incredible Gathering. The street to turning into an Enticement was not without its turns also. Both Ruffin and his sibling competed for a spot in the Gathering, displaying their gifts during a zapping execution on New Year's Eve. At last, it was David's spellbinding stage presence and profound vocals that caught the consideration of the Gathering individuals and fixed his destiny as their most current part. At first entrusted with giving foundation vocals, Ruffin's certain ability before long got the ear of Smokey Robinson, the brains behind a large number of the Enticements' most prominent hits. Perceiving Ruffin's vocal ability, Robinson set off on a mission to compose the ideal tune to exhibit his capacities, a melody that would become famous in its own right. My Young Lady, with Ruffin in charge as lead vocalist, the Enticements took off to new levels, charming crowds with its like, Since I Lost My Child, Ain't As Well Pleased to Ask, and All I Really Want Anyway. Ruffin's climb to fame was not without its difficulties. In 1967, he found himself wrestling with dependence on cocaine, which prompted missed shows and practices, taking steps to wreck both his profession and the outcome of the Allurements. Moreover, pressures emerged inside the Gathering as unpleasant, holding on to goals of venturing into the spotlight as the point of convergence, much the same as Diana Ross' job in the Supremes, filled by his longing for acknowledgement. Ruffin upheld an adjustment of the Gathering's name to David Ruffin and the Allurements, a move that ignited conflicts with the Gathering's DO chief, Otis Williams. These unseen struggles highlighted the sensitive harmony between person desire and aggregate accomplishment inside the Gathering, disrupted by disparities in the Gathering's monetary records. Ruffin left, determined to reveal the truth, requesting a bookkeeping of the Allurements' cash anyway. His endeavors to shed light regarding this situation simply served to extend the break among him and Moan Records organizer Berry Gordy. The strain among Ruffin and Gordy reached a critical stage on June 27, then where Ruffin was matter-of-factly removed from the Gathering, making ready for Dennis Edwards to step into the spotlight as his substitution. Edwards, a previous individual from the Shapes and a long-term companion of Ruffin and the Gathering, was pushed into the job in the midst of mounting strains and a haze of vulnerability. Right after his excuse, Ruffin made a conclusive move, documenting a claim against Moan Records in October 1968. His claim looked for not exclusively to disavow the name yet, in addition to consider them responsible for his funds. Pound thus counters the suit, trying to forestall Ruffin from leaving the mark, furthermore, raising the fight in court into an extended question. At last, a settlement was reached, yet one that expected Ruffin to satisfy his unique contract with Moan as an independent craftsman. This settlement not only highlighted the complexities of Ruffin's relationship with the mark, yet additionally filled hypothesis and discussion inside the Allurements' positions. David Ruffin's performance profession took off higher than ever in 1969 with the arrival of his breakout single, My Entire World Finished the Second You Left Me. This heartfelt song caught the hearts of audience members. The country over moving to number 8 on the Bulletin Hot 100 graph and getting the number 2 spot on the Hot R&B Singles graph. The progress of the single setup for the arrival of Ruffin's introduction solo collection, likewise named My Entire World Finished, which hit the racks that made a basic recognition buoyed by the outcome of his introduction collection. Ruffin burned through no time in delivering his follow-up. Exertion, feeling great only 6 months after the fact anyway. It was his third solo collection, just named David, that exhibited the profundity of Ruffin's imaginativeness, kept in the mid-70s yet not delivered. Until 2004. Thanks for watching this video.